A lot of NFL rumors kind of working the way around the news wires. Achane, Seattle. Um, if I had to predict a wide receiver to be moved, it would be AJB or Olave. Is it going to be this week? Probably not. Is Pittsburgh going to be involved? New England going to be involved? Probably one of those two teams if I had to guess. I do believe one wide receiver gets moved. I don't know about Achane to Seattle. This ESPN report, I'm not saying we aren't here to talk about it. I'm not saying we aren't here to try and, iron out what the aftermath would be for Walker and Charbonnet and Achane and what that would look like. Would Walker go back and return in the trade? Would Walker go to another team like the Texans or the Chiefs or the Commanders? Would Achane go to KC? Maybe not. Seattle. Will break it all down and more. It's a trade rumor show. I'm not trying to cook up these ideas. We're merely breaking them down. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. Of course, Breece Hall still in the mix. I mean, everybody knows that's one of the more talked about players to potentially be moved in the next handful of weeks. Hall would be a great addition to KC. Breece Hall would be a great addition to a lot of different teams. We do very much want to free Breece Hall from his current situation. Hashtag free Breece or free 20. Put it in the live chat. So Hall is definitely in the conversation here. But right now we're talking about, at least initially, this man, De'Von Achane, may be heading over to the Seattle Seahawks, which is just, again, a speculative rumor by ESPN. And I think I have the report right here that we can discuss real quickly. But according to this report here, Seahawks would be willing to trade. This is crazy. To trade a corner for Achane, and then the expected, what's that contract extension look like? You've got two other running backs on the roster. Do you send one of them back? Hard to say what this would look like. Would Miami get Walker? What would Walker look like in a Miami Dolphin uniform? I don't really know how to process this other than to say it seems a little far-fetched. It seems a little wild. But then again, Seattle has a 4-2 record. They're potentially trying to make a push to win the division. They believe they can win now. Darnold's playing very, very well. JSN's a top 5 wide receiver, no question about it. This would be dynamic. I mean, regardless of how good Walker and Sharps could be, they're not really doing what you would want them to do. Now, is that the fault of the coaching and play calling? Maybe. But regardless, Seattle's looking at it like, we don't get the running back production we need or we want. So what if we go get this guy? And we have Darnold just dump it off to him, and he turns into a top 5 running back in Seattle's offense. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't want to fix what isn't broken. Achane's a top 2 or 3 running back right now in fantasy football in Miami. But Miami is susceptible to an injury to both Tua or some other component of this offense that makes it fall apart. Like Waddle goes down, then all of a sudden Achane is hitting stacked boxes and things kind of change. I don't know what I prefer. Seattle's pretty exciting, but they aren't getting the most out of Sharps and Walker now. So what makes us think they would get the most out of Achane, especially if it's crowded? Hard to say. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of players to talk about. This is specifically, I know some of you want to talk about Jacoby Myers, Breece Hall. This isn't about those guys. This is about the 3 guys on screen. So Jacoby Myers could get moved. Breece Hall could get moved. There's a lot of players that could get moved. But this show is about these 3 individuals right here. A.J. Brown, Chris Olave, and Achane. We're staying focused. Likelihood of this happening, I think, is not very high. Doesn't mean it won't happen. It just means, in my mind, I don't think this is the most likely scenario to see play out, but anything can happen. Brendan, if you don't like the content, Brendan, you can just go somewhere else if you'd like. Here, I'll let you think about it for a minute before you come in, and while we're discussing something completely different, you want to come in and trash the content, then I'll put you in a timeout. Decide whether you want to stay. When you come back, I'll let you know. You let me know what you want to do, Brandon. How's that? 4-2. Seattle's definitely a player. Seattle's definitely a team that could go get somebody. Not a doubt in my mind that they're thinking about it. It's just, is this the move for them? I don't know. It's kind of an interesting situation. Definitely would say that I don't know that it'd be a downtick in production. I don't know that it would be an uptick. I don't know that it would be the same. I don't think we have a clue as to how the Seattle Seahawks would use him. You know, would he be used properly? I don't know. The way Tua dumps the ball off to this kid and the way that Miami Mike does scheme him up, it does make me feel like we're wishing for chaos when we don't really know what the end result would be. You know how you wish for something to happen. You wish for that situation to crumble or collide or crash, and then when it happens, you're like, damn, maybe I didn't want that. I don't know that we necessarily want Achane moving. I think for the long term, I do want him in Seattle more than I do, I guess, Miami, because of Miami Mike being fired at some point, because Miami Mike McDaniel, we don't know what him leaving, what the scheme could look like, because Tua Tagovailoa is not a long-term option, because Tua Tagovailoa doesn't have, in my opinion, the ability to withstand multiple years without having those concussions. So, like, how long does he have? So long-term, maybe it is better to be in Seattle. It's hard to say. As far as Chris Olave, there's rumors all over the place that he could potentially be going to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh would make a lot of sense, because not necessarily because I think it's the best landing spot. I don't know, with Aaron Rodgers not having a lot of long-term appeal, I don't know what this is going to mean a year from now. They're probably going to have to give him something along the lines of a $60-70 million contract extension, a guy with concussions, a guy that we've worried about one shot taking him out of the NFL entirely, just like Tua Tagovailoa. One huge headshot and he's done. You're going to pay him $60-70 million. Hard to imagine, but not hard to imagine at the same time. Pittsburgh in play for this. New England's definitely going to be in play for a wide receiver. I could see New England wanting to go after Olave. I do believe Olave is a very likely player to get traded. Why? Because the Saints are in the most probably upside down situation in the National Football League. They're more upside down than a lot of these situations, so this very much feels like something that could go down. New England trying to get a wide receiver for Drake May. New England can't home grow these wide receivers. They don't know what they're doing with wide receivers, plain and simple. So going and getting a Chris Olave makes a lot of sense. Going and getting a AJ Brown also makes some sense. AJ Brown, I can just leave New England and Pittsburgh up, take Olave down, place AJ Brown in his spot, and I don't even have to rewrite these teams. These are two very, very likely teams to go get AJ Brown. The news is just news. It's just rumors right now. There's no hardcore evidence that A.J. Brown's headed to Pittsburgh. There's no hardcore evidence that A.J. Brown's headed to New England. I do believe New England would be the smarter move for a New England Patriot team or a Pittsburgh Steelers team, because this is an older player. He's getting older. This is a situation where Aaron Rodgers is getting older, obviously. You're potentially not tying up as much new money in like an Olave as you would in an A.J. Brown. So A.J. Brown sent him on over. And same thing with New England. Tying New England down to a $60-70 million extension with Olave with the risk of one headshot, and then crippling the ability for New England to then go get new other wide receivers if Olave's knocked out of contention of playing for this team in the future. A.J. Brown is a nice injection similar to Diggs, and you could potentially go try and win now or for the next 2 or 3 years and not worry so much about crippling your future wide receiver prospects and ability to go get somebody. A.J. Brown in New England. It feels like has a real nice ring to it. And A.J. Brown is a great wide receiver. Make no mistake about it. A.J. Brown in New England, I would change my value immediately. Because right now, A.J. Brown is a diva that lives on a team that's been winning. And even before they've kind of struggled a little more recently, especially with Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown's been complaining. They're 4-0. A.J. Brown's complaining. A.J. Brown's been a diva. But A.J. Brown, like George Pickens, you move A.J. Brown temporarily, he will have no attitude. The diva mentality will vanish, and you'll have a player that's a lot happier. So A.J. Brown being moved to New England or Pittsburgh will put a pause on the diva mentality. It give him an injection of happiness that would trickle out through his play. And I think A.J. Brown would turn into a very, very big fantasy football asset in New England, catching footballs from a top 5 quarterback in the making in Drake May. Pittsburgh's a little different. He goes to Pittsburgh. I think he's erratic. I don't know that he becomes some fantasy football monster in Pittsburgh. You got DK there. You got Aaron Rodgers. You got Arthur Smith. You got just kind of more of a mess, I think, long term. And I don't know that Pittsburgh stays the way they're playing, doing the things they're doing right now all the way through into the playoffs. They're definitely a vulnerable team. They're as vulnerable as their quarterback. They're beholden, not that New England isn't beholden to Drake May, or that any team isn't beholden to their quarterback. If Jalen Hurts went down, the Eagles would crumble. If anybody loses their quarterback, look at the Cincinnati Bengals. You're pretty much done. But I believe that it's even more so the case in Pittsburgh because Aaron Rodgers is older. To tie yourself to Aaron Rodgers as an A.J. Brown, and then they lose their quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers are done for years. It's going to take a while to get that quarterback in place. Teams search for decades for a quarterback. And the Steelers got lucky, and they earned it. It's not all luck, but I mean, this was a decision that was made. It was a good decision to bring Aaron Rodgers in, but this was something that if Aaron Rodgers wasn't available or didn't want to play for Pittsburgh Steelers would be losing all their games this year. Finding a quarterback is tough. I just don't know that A.J. Brown has a lot of long-term fantasy football value in Pittsburgh. I think he's got tremendous amount of, even if it's a 2 to 3 year shot of production because he's getting older. In New England, that's very, very solid. I think Chris Olave carries a lot of risk no matter where he goes because one headshot and he could be done for his career. And this is an interesting situation for sure. For sure. Kay with a super chat says Judkins for my Pickens. I'd take Judkins, and I love Pickens, but I'd take Judkins. It's close and arguable, I suppose. But with Lamb back, and there's a news report here. We'll talk about it at 5 p.m. We'll probably go live earlier than 5 p.m. because of the game. But we'll talk about how, it's Lamb's back. Lamb said he could have played last week, but he wanted to make sure he had no restrictions walking into this week. So Lamb is walking in. This will be a lead for the 5 p.m., 8 p.m. show. That Lamb is going to have zero restrictions. Trade Harvey and Chase Brown for Vidal and Hampton. In redraft, no, because you're waiting. I don't think so. I think I'd rather have Chase Brown. It's arguable. Vidal's pretty solid. I guess you could say Vidal and Hampton could be safer, but I think I'd take the gamble on Chase Brown and then also have the upside of Harvey eventually getting in there, which I think a lot of people are wanting to give up on, but it's a long season. 2-4, Genty, Henry, Etienne, Nico, Waddle, Marv, Bowers. Should I trade Etienne and Waddle for Kyron and Ladd? I think it's pretty even. I think without Tootin, it makes it a little riskier. Then again, without Corum, it makes it, not equal as risky, but, still a concern, I suppose. But Kyron and Ladd, I probably lean toward Kyron and Ladd. I think Kyron's better than Etienne. I think Ladd is probably quietly equal to Waddle. And in some cases, I might actually quietly like Ladd more. My gut, start Rice or Adams, or my guy, start Rice or Adams half PPR. I'm starting Rice, but I love both of them. I think you almost got to get both of them in your lineup or figure out a trade, bro. Aaron Rodgers tonight or Bo Nix. Probably Bo Nix. I don't trust Thursday night plays, bro, especially Aaron Rodgers. This is the AARP Bowl. I don't know. Trade BTJ and AJB for Puka and Hendy. I would probably say give me, geez, man. I need, depending on your record, if you've got 4 or 5 wins, I suppose you could wait on Puka, and I guess I'll lean toward the Puka side. And Hendy, I think, eventually gets on his horse eventually. If it's a 2-win situation, 3-win situation, you almost have to take the BTJ AJ Brown side, 12-man. Yeah, that's probably where I'd stand on that. It's a pretty close call. My Scatterboo for Achane, Smitty approved. I'd take Achane in a heartbeat. Was offered Amon-Ra St. Brown, Zay Bowers for Puka, Rico, and Quentin Johnston. Man, I'd probably say give me the St. Brown Bowers side. I do believe Bowers comes around. Then again, it's like, but Puka's out. Rico, like this trade helps you now more on the St. Brown side. And by the time Bowers comes around, might be after the bye week. I do think he pulls his weight. I'm going to say Amon-Ra by a slight amount, but just barely. Like I could literally go back and forth on that. That one's very, very close. Lamar, Genty, Monty, BTJ, MHJ, Adunze, Devontae Smith, fan and 4-2, but don't love my team. What should you do? Lamar and Genty, I wait on Lamar. I hold Genty. You're 4-2. You can definitely wait. Monty's tradable. Mason's tradable. MHJ, Devontae Smith. I'm trading MHJ and Monty, Devontae Smith and Monty, MHJ, Devontae Smith and Monty. I'm going after a player like James Cook while he has a bad game. I'm going after Kyron. I'm going after a Judkins. I'm going after a Lad and a Judkins, if I can. But I'm going after Judkins and somebody for a combo. I give up all 3 for Judkins and something. I give up 2 of those for Javonte, 2 of them for Henry, 2 of them for Barkley. I think I just take stabs at trying to get one of those players that could potentially be a big difference maker. If AJ AC Tully, if AJ actually leaves, I don't think Hat is a plus for Devontae Smith. Yeah, Tyler, you cracked me up. If AJ, I think you said if AJB actually leaves, I'm trying to read it exactly as it is, but I'll dissect it. Actually leaves, I don't think that is a plus for Devontae Smith when Hurts doesn't throw it. I think it's a plus for him. When you limit the amount of players that are dividing up the bad throws that Hurts has to throw around, Tyler, I think it's better. It's better to be the number 1 wide receiver than to not be. I disagree. I think it's good for Devontae Smith. Right now, Devontae Smith isn't pulling his weight, so let's change it up if we can. My 2 running backs are Kamara. Thank you, Tyler. My 2 running backs are Kamara and Chubb. Trade Mahomes, JJ for BTJ, ETN, and Swift. Mahomes and JJ for BTJ. No, Mahomes and JJ for me. Not even close. Mahomes is a top 1, 2, or 3 overall quarterback. Traded Pickens plus JCM for Nico and James Cook. Give me Nico and James Cook, not close. Thank you, pal. Start 3. Adams, Rice, Pickens, Debo. I'm going to sit Debo, unfortunately, this week until he proves, he's back fully. But even so, that's a tough call. Darnold, CMC, Kyron, Hall. Trades. I love Kyron. I definitely am still contemplating trading CMC for 2 players, obviously. You know my deal on that. DK and Hall for 1 monster like JJ. DK and Hall for an injured Puka Nacua. DK and Hall for, you could go after DK and Hall for like Henry and something, James Cook and something, Javonte and something, but definitely divide CMC up into 2 players if you can, like Judkins and Adams, or a London and Scatterboo or whatever. My Bucky Adams, go after Gibbs, bro, using CMC. Gibbs and something, do a 2 for 2. DK and a player or whatever. My Bucky Adams for Barkley and Ladd. 5-1. I'd probably say Bucky and Adams if I'm 5-1, but you could go either way. It's really arguable. Very arguable. Start T or Cade Otton. I'm going to go T Higgins. Drop 1 Kyler A.O. Manor. I'm dropping A.O. Manor. Harvey or Ramondre Harvey. drop one for any of those guys. It's Hendy. If Hendy's on waivers and you're asking me if you should pick up Hendy, I hope you're not asking me that. Appreciate your super chat. It's wild if Hendy's on waivers and people are contemplating picking him up. Tez, Johnson, Woody, Burden, or Booty in the flex. Probably right now, I would say Booty's the safest, but Burden's going to be a good play. DJ Moore's probably not going to play. So I'd say Burden might become that pick. We got to wait till later in the week. Rank, rest of season, Henry, Judkins, Genty. I'm going to go Genty, Judkins, or Jacobs. Maybe Genty, Jacobs, Judkins, Cook. It's close, Tyler. You could go back and forth over and over. The wind could blow one way, and I'd re-rank them. I'd say probably Genty, Jacobs, and then Judkins and Cook are tied. Henry's after that, but it's really, really tough. It's almost a dice roll in some ways. Need running backs. Trade Lamb for Genty and Flowers. No, not enough. I like trading for Genty, but not enough. Go get more. Was offered Achane plus Adams for my CD. I'd take Achane and Adams. That's a lot of value, bro. Need full analysis on trading. What do you mean full analysis? What do you need full analysis on, Ricky? You need full analysis on trading Scatterboot for Cook. Full analysis is Cook has been outscoring him at most every running back greatly. And yeah, he's had a bad couple games, but you're probably rolling with Cook. Cook is just in a good situation, and every running back's gonna have a bad game or two. You got to take James Cook. I love Scatterboo, but the full analysis is that you're gonna probably roll with the guy that literally is ranking so high up there. Love Scat, but I'm also getting JMO with Vidal and Hampton for Harvey and Chase Brown. Lost Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Look, if you've already done it or you're leaning toward doing it, look, Vidal and Hampton might be safer. And getting JMO is definitely a big plus. That probably pushes me over the edge because I was already on the line. I love JMO. JMO's awesome. I think his draft value is horrible, as was Lad McConkey's. But this is what I do. I swing in after everybody has buyer's remorse and we buy them low. Vidal, JMO, or Addison this week. I'd probably go Vidal for safety. JMO is high risk, high reward. So if you need a big swing, go JMO, because you could have that 100 yards and a touch at any moment. 3-3, 12-man PPR. Maybe Jean Etienne Rice. I got A.O. Manor and Burden. Trade or TB. What's TB mean? You guys act like we speak the same abbreviation language. Trade or TB wide receivers. TB. What's TB mean? Take back? I don't know what the hell that means, bro. But let me just look at your team. Bijan, Etienne, Rice. Love that combo. Would I maybe move like a MHJ? I keep Puka and Puka and Bucky, I think. Well, I maybe trade Chase Brown and MHJ for one player. Go after Adams. Go after Judkins. Go after Henry. Go after something along those lines. Or Tampa Bay wide receivers. Okay. Trade or Tampa, but that doesn't make sense. Trade or Tampa Bay wide receivers. What the hell does that mean? Don't tell me to take a lap, Brian. Here, Brian, you take a lap into timeout for 30 minutes for that ridiculous take a lap comment. Me take a lap? Trade or TB wide receivers. Trade or TB. What the hell does that mean? You mean make a trade or go pick up some Tampa Bay wide receivers? What in the hell am I supposed to do with that information? I definitely would say Chase Brown and MHJ for one bigger player. That's my ultimate end game here. And as far as a Tampa Bay wide receiver, it's a grab bag there. I like Tez. I like Shepard. I probably go with Burden. Burden's a pretty nice play this week. I like Burden a lot. But I definitely would be moving my boy. Okay, crazy to trade Puka for Jonathan Taylor? No. I think Taylor, if you watch my top 12 overall video, I have Taylor higher than that. Detroit, go watch the video. I've ranked the top 12 overall players going forward. Taylor is number 3. So definitely. Dart, Purdy, London, Garrett Wilson, Puka, Hampton, Chase Brown, Kamara, Sharps, Marks need to make a move. Well, I don't love your QBs. I love London. Loved Garrett Wilson, London, and Puka, and you got hit with injuries. That sucks. Kamara, I'm probably trying to trade Kamara and Chase Brown, Hampton and Chase Brown, Hampton and Kamara for like one Judkins or better player. James Cook can obviously be bought low right now. Kyron sometimes. Would love for you to get into a Jahmyr Gibbs, but you're probably not going to be able to do that. You could trade Puka and Kamara, or Puka, Kamara, and Chase Brown for like Gibbs, but I don't think that's going to fly. Garrett Wilson, I have concerns. Garrett Wilson and Kamara for one player, but you might have a tough time trading injured Garrett Wilson or Puka. Puka for, I've seen people trade Puka for Judkins and a piece like Ladd. Try and see if you can explore that. I don't love getting rid of Puka, but at 2 and 4, can you really wait? So you're a team that's just got to trade Puka. Puka for Judkins and Ladd. Puka for Henry and Ladd. Puka for two players like that, Hassan. You just got to go make it happen, unfortunately. I hate to tell you. I wish you didn't have to trade Puka, but you do. J Dubs, appreciate your super chat. Trade for Achane. My wide receivers are Nico, Devontae Smith, J-Mo. If you could get rid of like Waddle and Chase Brown for him, sure. That would be awesome. I don't think you're going to be able to do that, but Waddle and BTJ and Chase Brown for Achane, I don't think you're going to be able to do that either, but you try. You're probably going to have to give up Nico. So Nico for Chase Brown, Nico for Achane straight up. I don't think you're going to be able to do any of these other moves. BTJ and Waddle, I'm not giving up Rice, to be honest. I want to keep Rice. But Nico for Chase Brown, I keep saying Chase Brown. Nico for Achane, I would do that. Chase Brown and BTJ, you try, but you probably won't get it. I don't think you have another choice. You got to trade Nico if you want to get him. But try those other ones. They're just going to get rejected, but you never know, man. You never know. Some people made the dumbest trades this week. I've seen some crazy ones go down. Puka Waller trade for Pittman and Njoku. Why would I trade a Puka Waller for Pittman and Njoku? What kind of world would I live in, Bobby? Where, and I appreciate your super chat, but what kind of world would I live in where I would trade Puka for Pittman and Njoku, let alone give them Waller as well? Like that would be the worst trade probably you could possibly conjure up that I've maybe ever seen. Like, what are you doing? What in the hell are you doing? Were you up all night? Have you not slept a wink? What is going on? Hunter was on waivers, so I recently dropped Tootin for him. Good move. I mean, no, not a good move. I want both of them. I want Tootin. Tootin's a league winner. Now, Travis Hunter could be too, even though people want to pretend like he's trash. But I don't know that you can really say dropping one for the other is a great move. You know, you're risking the biscuit somewhere. So we just don't know which one. It's all about opportunity, which we can't predict which one's going to get the opportunity. Smitty, 12-man PPR double flex. Josh Allen, Bijan, Josh Jacobs, Pitts, Rice, Debo, Bourne, Woody. Lost last week because Ibuka got hurt. I'm 2 and 4. Should I ship Rice for Ladd and Rico? No. Or Ladd and Vidal? No. Why would you trade Rice? You just got him back. You haven't even used him, T-Bone. What are you thinking? Take a look. Not only that, you're not getting near enough. You're going to probably have to trade. I mean, I love your team. Just stand down. Unless you're going to move, let's say, Debo and, I don't know, Debo and Jacobs for like a stud, like above Jacobs. And Jacobs is ranking inside the top 12. So it's going to be hard to upgrade that. But, you know, probably trade Puka for what I was saying earlier, Judkins and a Ladd. You're going to be able to trade Puka. Look, Buka's out for multiple weeks. Rice isn't. You wouldn't even trade Puka for Ladd and Rico probably. So you can't trade Rice for that. But I would definitely trade Puka for like Judkins and Ladd, or a Henry and Ladd, or a Barkley and Ladd, and take a gamble there, T-Bone. But that's the only thing you can do. You can't go this other direction you're trying to go in. You're trying to go into a dead end. Start 2 running backs and a flex. Judkins and Kyron. And then your flex is probably going to be I will probably start Saquon. Adunze's nice. Sutton's nice. Putting Rice and Adams in their positions. I trust your gut, but I'll probably go Saquon if it was me. It's not an easy call, though. No doubt. 1 and 5 got offered Rome and Shaheed for Scat and Walker. I'd take Rome and Shaheed. I'd probably take Rome and Shaheed. Well, chat, vote on that. Rome and Shaheed or Scat and Walker. That's a tough one. Rome and Shaheed or Scat and Walker. Please vote. Vote in the chat, please. I probably lean. I mean, I kind of want to lean Scat and Walker just because of Walker. You could trade him, but maybe nobody's buying him. And Rome's bye week free. You know. Team Scat, man. So chat's saying Scat, and I kind of do agree. I'd probably do that and then trade Walker in another deal. Walker and Worthy for somebody. Walker and Evans for somebody. Got offered AJB and Pacheco for my Debo. I don't want AJB. Could I trade him for more than Debo? Maybe. Maybe he gets traded to New England, and then I want AJB. I guess I would take AJB and Pacheco on that spec, I suppose. Given that you're loaded at wide receiver, you got Nico, JSN, Rashee Rice. Maybe I'd take a gamble on the AJ Brown side and I sit on it. I guess in your situation, very rare situation, but maybe I do. But I do love Debo still. I do. 10-man half PPR. I am 3-3. Lamar, Lamb, Igbuka, Tet, Gibbs, Judkins, Hendy. You're looking solid, bro. Trade ideas. I want to upgrade now. I mean, Tet, you got Lamb and Book. Tet and maybe like a Vidal or Tet and Dowdle for that Adams or Genty or Kyron or Henry or Adams. Ted and Dowdle for Adams is probably not enough. Adams is something, but go a little higher at wide receiver if you go get a wide receiver. But I definitely go get those RBs, and that's the package I'd send around. 10-man super flex 0.5 Mahomes, Fields, McCarthy, Rice, Puka, Ladd, Hunter, CMC, Barkley, White, Hampton. Any moves? Probably looking to shop Vidal and Hampton together with maybe, I would say, damn, this is tough. Rashad White, Hampton. Probably strongly consider trading Puka in the similar deal that I was talking about earlier, where like you're getting like a Ladd and a Judkins, but only if you're getting that. Or you strongly consider trading CMC in the deals that I've advised you to do, and nothing less than 2 players for the 1 CMC. And they've got to be monsters. They've got to be an Adams and a Judkins. It's got to be a Kyron and an Adams. It's got to be a Henry and a Ladd McConkey. But I definitely would consider that. Your team's good enough to win without doing anything, though. It is a solid squad. Maybe you just sit tight for a little while. The only thing I would look to do for an upgrade would just be maybe you could give Vidal and Hampton with Puka for a player like Nico, somebody that's playing now, somebody that you don't have to wait on. Maybe that's the only move to really necessarily make. Because waiting on Puka sucks, but you could wait. You got a good enough team to wait, but PPR this week, Gainwell, Hendy, or Sharps. Probably Sharps in a vacuum for this week. Trade J.K. Dobbins for I get Quentin Johnson, Charbonnet. I'd probably say I guess I keep J.K. for now, or I trade him for something better. I don't mind that either way. You could definitely do that, and I wouldn't make you take a lap or anything. $20 hauler from Francisco. Appreciate you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Okay, I'm 1-6. Need wins ASAP. Jaden Daniels, Bijan, RJ Harvey, MHJ, Debo, Quentin Johnston, A.O. Manor. Just traded Bucky and Andrews for Derrick Henry. Bucky and Andrews for Derrick Henry. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I think you can get more, but Bucky is out potentially another week or two, maybe longer, maybe less. We don't really know. Derrick Henry's at least playing, or when he's not on a bye or anything. But I don't know how much I love. I wish you would have got more. If I was to make a trade right now with this squad, I would probably say I'm moving Henry and Quentin Johnston for even a slight safer Achane type running back. I'm moving, if I can't do it with Quentin Johnston, I move Goddard as well. I take advantage of that value. Even though it sucks to lose him, I definitely would go dumpster diving for a tight end on the waiver wire and use that to my advantage. I'd trade Debo and Henry for that upgraded running back. Past that, I'm probably trading Quentin Johnston and MHJ, Debo and MHJ for one upgraded wide receiver. I'm trying to get Nico's. I'm trying to get a potential. I mean, even Adams might suffice to trade like Quentin Johnston and Debo together for Adams, or you could go Henry and Quentin Johnston for Judkins. That'd be a pretty good move. Thanks, my guy. More info. I have JSN, Rice, Adams, half PPR starting to Sam Darnold. I can try Chase Brown for Rice. I mean, you can. You'll get rejected on that. You could add more to it for sure. And definitely go get Rice. If you can't get Rice, I think another good wide receiver to get's a Dunze off with the no bye. So Chase Brown for a Dunze with the bye out of the way. Bye week free Chase Roma Dunze. 4-2, 0.5 PPR. Lamar, thank you for the super chat. Lamar, Bucky, White, Hampton, Bam, Nico, CD, BTJ. Love the receivers. Saquon owner hurting bad at wide receiver. Well, I don't know. Would I trade BTJ for Saquon? Chat, would you rather have Saquon or BTJ? Knowing that you got CD and Nico and you only have Bucky and White, really. I probably would. I'd be tempted to get Henry over Saquon. Maybe not. Saquon at least looks good. It's just he's not getting fed. I'd take a gamble on Saquon. I'd see Saquon over BTJ by a hair. By a hair. If I could do it another way, I would, but you can't. You got no other option. I'd probably say in your situation, it's a pretty smooth swap. Take the gamble. The chat's gonna be pretty split on that one, I think. 4-2, full PPR. Trade Tet and Pearsall for Puka. I'd definitely take Puka if you can wait on it in your 4-2, so you can. Definitely. 12-man PPR. Dak, Herbert, Jacobs, Scattaboo, Henderson, Marks, Puka, Ridley, Franklin. Got a trade offer. James Cook, Mike Evans, and Olave for Jacobs and Puka. James Cook, Mike Evans, Olave. Give me Jacobs and Puka all day. That's easy call. Easy call, bro. Fantastic trade. Nice work. This super chat here is from Cash Money. Take Henry and Puka for JT and a Dunze. Man, Puka when back is equal easily to JT, maybe worth a spot or two up if we're drafting. Right now if JT 3, Puka like a 7 or 8, but as soon as Puka's back, that's even. And then it comes down to Henry versus Dunze. I'd probably say Henry and Puka. I'd probably say Henry and Puka. Chat, vote on that one. I think the chat's going to agree. Henry, Puka. Smitty, not sure what to do this week. Ride the team or make a trade. 3-3. ETN, Henderson, London, Tet, Ladd, Fannin, Bench, Bucky, Hampton, King Henry, Debo. Been trying to get Jettas using Tet and ETN. I still continue to try that. I try and get other players that are in that ballpark as well, like a Nico potentially, or a injured Puka, even though he's injured. Lamb chops, even a Rice might suffice for that type of trade. But I definitely feel like you got a good squad. You're 3-3. I know it hurts, but you're gonna get Bucky back. You're gonna get Henry back in the lineup. Things are gonna look okay for you. But London, yeah, you got a really good squad. ETN. I'm still trying to move ETN and Ted. I keep Ladd. I keep Fannin. Move ETN and Ted for. You could almost go after a Judkins and something like a JMO. See who the JMO owner has at running back, and then maybe do a 2 for 2, a Tet and ETN for JMO and their running back. But go after Judkins, go after you said Jettas, go after Lamb, go after Jamar Chase, go after St. Brown, go after Puka Nacua for that package. Tet and ETN are pretty good though. Don't give them away for just anybody. I think I definitely would go in that direction. But holding strong for one more week's not a bad idea. Hampton might be a good move too. Hampton and Tet for like Adams or maybe a Nico if you could reach high enough. Do you have Rasheed Rice? No, you don't. How about Rasheed Rice? How about Hampton? and Tet. Or you could throw Debo into a deal, dude. Debo and Debo, Etienne, and Tet for a Lamb, for Rice and something. It's a good squad, bro. You got a lot to work with. Maybe throw some Debo in there. Debo and Tet. Debo and Tet for a Nico. Genty for Nico or JJ. I would take JJ or Nico, probably in that order. JJ, Nico for Genty, sure. Need wide receivers. Nico's on the table. Chat, would you rather have Nico or Genty? I think I'd probably rather have... Oh, man, I want Genty bad, though. Genty or Nico, guys. Vote in the chat. He needs a wide receiver, though. That's tough. I love Genty moving forward. What's up with the fake news? AJ ain't getting traded. There ain't no fake news here, bro. What's up with your fake comment about fake news? What's up with the fake news? He says. Genty for Nico, or let's vote on that one. Nico, Genty. It's not fake news. This is a report out there. These are multiple reports, multiple news. You don't know what you're talking about. Here, you won't be back after the trade deadline because you're gone. How's that? Because what you're saying is fake. Genty for Nico or JJ, need wide receivers. Vote in the chat, please. Nico, it looks like Genty's getting the majority of the vote, but I don't know. It's pretty close. If you need wide receivers bad, Josh, this is an even trade. I probably would rather have Genty in a vacuum. Need wide receivers, Nico on the table. Guys, keep voting on that if you have a stance on it. Barkley and Ladd for Henry and one of Debo Nico. Barkley and Ladd for Henry and one of Debo Nico. Barkley and Ladd. Let's go Henry and Nico. Debo and Nico aren't even in the same ballpark. If it's Debo, I don't know that I like it anymore. I think it could be argued though. But Nico is a whole different thing. Henry and Nico, it's not even Dylan. It's like apples and oranges. Like the difference between that trade. Imagine coming into a live stream and you're breaking down the rumors and you haven't even listened to what the show's about. Where the show says, what's the likelihood of the rumor coming true? This, that, where would I like him to go if he did get traded? Imagine not even watching, coming into a live stream and saying, hey, this guy's got fake news. This guy's talking about fake news. You don't even know what you're talking about. You haven't even watched the show. I'll be back to laugh at you. I don't think so. Volume output seems a bit quieter the last few weeks. The volume output seems lighter the last few weeks. Does anybody else agree with that? Does the volume seem lower than normal the last few weeks? Let me know if you agree with them. I don't know that I've seen or noticed that. Let's see here. Whenever I adjust this and then it goes back, it's like super loud, but Big Prophet said yes. Is that louder or is that not louder? Is that back to normal levels? Anyone else notice this? Mainly listen with earbuds. Big Prophet says he agrees. Let's see here. Agreed. Yellow, 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 yellow. Testing 1, 2. All right, hopefully that's a little bit better. Sometimes things get adjusted, but if that's better, let me know. You sound majestic. Sounds good. You're good. Now it's a ton. Now it's too loud. Well, turn your volume down. I just increased the volume. Okay. Anyway, back to. Everyone says they're tripping. Testing 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate your super chat. Ronald, you dropped a blank super chat. Appreciate it. Make sure you include it in there. I won't see any additional messages on the peripheral, my boy. So make sure they're included. 12-man super flex. Let's see here. Trade Tet and Judkins for Rice. It's a pretty fair and even deal. I would say it's pretty damn even, bro. I'd say it's pretty damn even. Pretty close. I would say I lean Rice barely, but that is a damn even trade. Volume. Okay, got that one already. Ronald with the additional super chat. Thank you, Ronald. 3 and 3 trade Gibbs and Hollywood Brown and Williams. J-Mo Williams for Lamb and Breece Hall and Monty. I would probably take Lamb, Breece. Man, that's really close. I'd probably say give me J-Mo and Gibbs. I love Lamb, but I love Gibbs more, a little bit more. I like Breece Hall and Monty, but I love J-Mo a lot. I think I'm okay having Gibbs and J-Mo. But very close trade. Very close. Very arguable. Falcons, Browns, or Colts, Pitts. What? Falcons or Browns? I'd probably go Falcons. Colts or Pittsburgh. I'd probably say Pittsburgh, and then Waller, Otten. I'd probably go Waller. I like Otten a lot, though. Those are really close, Bobby. All of those are crapshoots. Make sure you trust your gut. They're very close. All of those are super even. Got offered Hampton for JCM. I'd probably take Hampton in a vacuum, but if you need the production now, you've got to roll with JCM. And JCM has Dallas this week. He's going to have a baller day if he gets to work. Need to make a trade. 1 and 5. Burrow out. Stafford, Bijan, Bucky out. JCM, Sharps, Harvey, Garrett Wilson out. Puka out. Addison, Travis Hunter, Bowers out. You got rocked, bro. Kincaid out. So many injuries. Thoughts? I don't even know if you can make much of a trade. You probably need to wait. 1 and 5. How can you wait? You might have to trade Bijan. Try doing it by trading Puka. Try getting that Judkins and Ladd combination. Start there. After you do that, maybe you could trade JCM and Garrett Wilson for an Adams who's playing. Try baby steps. Start with those two. Start specifically with the Puka for Judkins or James Cook, or Puka for Rice, or Puka for the Judkins and additional player. J-Mo and a running back. Try James Cook. Try Javonte and a wide receiver. But if you go Javonte instead of James Cook or Judkins, I want a little bit more wide receiver value. Krosky, Merritt, and Metcalf for James Cook. I'd probably rather have James Cook. Great question, though. Ricky Turbo, appreciate you. Take Lamb and Baker for Jacobs and BTJ. 1 QB, your team is Herbo. Okay, so Lamb and Baker for Jacobs, BTJ. I'd rather have Lamb and Baker, to be honest, man. I like Jacobs and BTJ, but BTJ is still vulnerable enough and volatile enough that I just don't want to get rid of Lamb chops. How many sunglasses do you have and what kind? Bobby, we talk about this every damn show. If anybody needs a pair.
The Gunner Player of the Week. Brought to you by Gunner.com.
I have more sunglasses than you can imagine. All Gunners, all blue light blocking, all on this wall right here. And if you want a pair just like me, 15% off by using this link right here, which inserts code Smitty for you. They're all blue light blocking glasses, and I rotate them. Like we rotate them like the Niners rotate starters. So, a lot. Trade Devontae Adams and Jacoby for Terry and BTJ. I'd probably say give me Terry and BTJ because I think Terry does come back, and I do like BTJ, but I do like Adams a lot. I have Puka. Devontae, so I worry about having 2 Rams. Yeah, I'm fine with that trade. That trade would be pretty good for you. Guys, make sure you click that link and order some Gunners. Gunners are the best. They're the best, bro. The blue light blocking glasses are the best. I can trade Scat for AJB and Travis Hunter. I would probably say in Barkley for Judkins and JMO. I'd take Judkins and JMO. I like that trade a lot. That would look pretty solid, bro. Judkins and JMO into this situation. I do like Barkley a lot at the current value. I didn't like his draft value. I think he's an injury risk, but at the same time, they haven't used him enough. I feel like he's rejuvenated. I feel like he's ready. So I like your team though. That's probably what I would work on. Barkley for Judkins, JMO, and then trade Scat for AJB and Travis Hunter. I'd probably say no on that one, but I wouldn't be opposed to doing a different deal, going and getting a different receiver. You know, start 2 of these PPR: Tet, Higgins, or AJB. I'd probably go AJB and Tet for now, James, just for right now. Do you think Jaylen Warren and Steelers D will have a night? I don't know that I'm trusting Thursday night games, let alone running back by committees, let alone Arthur Smith led running back by committees. So I don't know. Steelers D maybe, but 0.5 PPR Jefferson or CD rest of season. CD. I'm 6-0. I have Jefferson right now. I think his schedule looks good. Yeah, and if the bye week matters, which it doesn't to you because you're 6-0. Then JJ would be a lean, maybe. But I'm going to go Lamb. I think Lamb's going to go nuclear. So give me Lamb chops over JJ straight up all day long. But very, very, very close. Thank you all for the super chats. And there was a $20 hauler that I wanted to give a little bit more attention. I think it was this MCA one. MCA, you still here? I appreciate your $20 hauler, and I want you to know that. Anybody dropping
super chat alert.
20 wads. Anybody dropping anything, I want to make sure you feel taken care of, but I want to make sure I look at this just a little bit longer. Puka, yeah, I'm definitely interested in trading Puka in this situation for that 2-player combo. And again, I just lean toward Judkins a lot with a Puka trade for some reason. I lean toward James Cook in a Puka trade. I lean toward a Doomsday bye week free with a running back potentially. What would you trade Bowers for in need of wide receivers? So for this team, Bowers is tough. Like Adams, if you can't get Adams, I'm trying to say like a Doomsday with the bye week out of the way, I'd definitely take him. BTJ, Lad McConkey and something, but I feel like you could get more. But if you just got Lad, do you have Lad? If you just got Lad, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but I think you could maybe get more MCA. MCA, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. There was another $20 hauler that I feel like needed a little bit more tender loving care. I think it was maybe Jose. Did I take care of yours? I think I did. ETN, not. Yeah. I think we did all we could on this one. Tet and Debo for 1 player. ETN and Debo. ETN and Tet for 1 player. Would you come up with, Jose? If you got anything else, let me know. I'd love to help you further. Thank you very much for the super chat. Sage, appreciate your $5 hauler. Sup, bro? Love the show. Show loves you back. Any moves? Probably going to keep this Achane Mahomes Judkins tripod. That's pretty nice. London Rice Lad. Not really, bro. I would say move Puka, but you have great wide receiver coverage. You just sit back and let it happen. This is a good team. If I could trade Warren and or Bill with Puka to get a player playing now like Nico or you've got Rice, right? Rice. I mean, geez, bro. Yeah, I think I just sit on this. Your team's good. I think you're trying to cook up something and you don't need to. That's a good team. Can the shades be enhance my injury-riddled team? I think they can. If you wear the shades, I think it might make your team look better. Takes the blue light out, but also the pain. Takes the pain out. Wow, your team was good, Sage. I like the squad a lot. Lost Puka, Ibuka, Bucky. Rest of team is May, Penix, Mason, Sharps, Harvey, Tucker, Hollywood. It's 2 wide receiver, 3 flex league. Should I try and trade? 3 and 3, you probably could wait because your record's not, 0 wins or 1 win. But yeah, it's tough. I'll probably say that I would maybe consider trading Kittle. I know he's coming back and you're excited about that, but that gives you firepower. Adams would be great. Judkins would be great. James Cook would be great. Javonte would be great. Rice obviously would be amazing, but you might have to give up more. Keenan Allen and Kittle for Rice, for Lamb, for St. Brown, for Nico, for JSN. Any of those players, Matt, I'd smash any of those trades, my boy, and I'd do it live. Matt Slater, appreciate you. Was that a $20 hauler? Rest of my team is, yes, it was. $20 hauler, my boy. Thank you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Yeah, you probably could also trade Mason too. Like Mason and Kittle could get you that one player. I think you could easily pull that off. And the fact that you've got Waller, I'd take a gamble. Make sure Fannin isn't out there just to back him up later and drop like a Cam Johnson, for Fannin. But that's a good squad. I mean, once you get the boys back, you'll be fine. Puka. And I would consider trading Puka. I wouldn't trade Puka probably, but I'd trade Puka for that Judkins Ladd, Judkins Adams, Judkins something. Matt, that would be pretty solid. Matt to the moon. Thank you, Matty. Arrogance, appreciate you. Start A-Rod or Fields. Oh, none of them. I guess A-Rod, barely. No, Fields has got the matchup. No, I don't know, man, but will he even be able to run? Will it just be a disaster? I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers. Fields or Aaron Rodgers, vote in the chat, but I can't start Fields without Garrett. I just don't think I can do it. I know everyone thinks he's just going to run, but you're counting on a lot there. A-Rod or Fields, vote on that, please. That one's a disaster. I hate all those options. Those are awful. 2 and 4, trade Bucky, JCM for Rice and Chase Brown. I would take Rice for Bucky. Yeah. Let alone you're getting Chase Brown for JCM. I think that's a great trade. I think it's a great trade all around. Take Lamb and Baker over BTJ and Jacobs in a 1 QB. Take Lamb and Baker. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have, well, chat, and I believe your quarterback was, who's your quarterback? Herbert. If your quarterback's Herbert, would you rather have Jacobs and BTJ or Lamb and Baker? It's still hard for me to not love Baker Mayfield with Lamb. I like BTJ a lot, but he's volatile still. He's not guaranteed to be super consistent. And Lamb over Jacobs, I do have Lamb over Jacobs. Do I have Lamb over Jacobs enough to forego the BTJ addition to my lineup? I don't know. I just think I'd rather have Lamb and Baker. I don't think I could turn from that. Chase Brown, Golden, Otten, or Woody. I'd probably go Chase Brown for now. Would you trade ETN and Marv for Mason and AJB? ETN and Marv for Mason. I'd take ETN and Marv, but it's arguable and that could change very quickly. 4-player keeper league. I have Bucky, Hendy, Woody, Puka, BTJ, Hunter, Addison, McBride. How do I get Breece? His owner is 1 and 5. I think you could get him pretty easily, but I don't know that you want to give up some of these big. You don't have like a lot of middle name guys. Like, do I want BTJ or Breece? I want BTJ. Do I want Bucky or Breece? I want Bucky, even with the missed time. If I could get Breece and like a wide receiver like Ladd, maybe I'd give up something, but that would still be tough. So I'd take Breece and Ladd for BTJ. I'd do something like that. It would require another player. I don't think you can, unless you can trade Addison or you trade a McBride. You got Fannin, you trade a McBride and you get Breece and something. But I don't think there's a real good trade here 1 for 1. You have to do something creative. 5 and 1, JD5, London, Buka, Henry, Hampton, Warren, Swift, Rico, May, Harvey. What moves should you make? London Puka, once Puka's back, is pretty damn good. You could wait at 5-1. Henry, I like your squad. I'd maybe be tempted to trade Swift and Rico and Hampton right now. All three, probably not. I mean, I would. I would consider it if I was getting one running back. But let's just say you're trading Swift or Rico with maybe you got May and JD5. You need to go, Sims, to the QB needy team and offer them JD5 or Drake May, whichever one will get you more. You give them Rico, or you give them Swift, or you give them both, or you give them Vidal and Hampton. Whatever you need to give them to get the one monster like JJ, like Nico, like Achane, like Kyron, whatever, for one quarterback and one of these pieces. But it's going to require the QB needy team. Past that, you can go to other teams. I would strongly consider waiting on London Puka, Henry, because you're 5-1. But I think your play is to get rid of one of the QBs, assuming this is not a super flex, which I don't think it is. But Rico and Swift, maybe that gets you one running back like Cook. Maybe it gets you a running back like Kyron. Rico and Swift for Kyron. Go to the running back needy teams and see if they'll take two of your running backs not named Henry for one running back that's better because they're starving for running back, or go to the QB needy team. Those are the two pieces of advice I have for you. Peter, thank you for the super chat. Trade McLaurin for JMO. I'd rather have JMO. Trade Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think you mean, for Tet and Nico. I'd take Tet and Nico. Peter, that's a really good trade. Brian said he took a lap. He's a bit tired. Attaboy, Brian. Anyway, some will call this a fake news show. That guy that came in here is like, this is a fake news show. AJB's not getting traded. What about that these rumors are out and we're here to either shoot them down or say what we think could be good? Or like, what world does a person live in where when things are being talked about on grand scale, they don't want someone coming in here and trying to dissect it, trying to predict what's true, what's not true? Hey, in case it plays out, where would we want them to go? I mean, why do people complain about everything? Why do people complain about everything? You can't win with even half the world these days. There's always somebody that's upset that you're live breaking something down. Like, why are you even here? What are you doing here? Wait, there isn't news on this. This is fake news. Hi, Smitty from England. What's up, Bobby boy? Love, Jacobs, Javante, Kamara, Dowdle, Harvey, JJ, Rice, Evans. Like the team a lot. T-Mac, McBride. Thoughts on my team? I think you could make some moves. I think you could keep Jacobs. You could probably... Love's okay. I don't mind upgrading him to Mahomes if he ever could get a chance. But I would definitely consider trading Javante or Dowdle into Achane or go upward, right? Or trade, let's say, Dowdle and Sutton, or Dowdle and T-Mac for Henry and something for Achane. Dowdle and T-Mac for Achane. Dowdle and T-Mac for JJ. Oh, you got JJ. For, I mean, you could go Jamar. You could go Jamar. Lamb. Let's go Dowdle. You get Lamb with JJ and Rice. Dowdle and Sutton, or Dowdle and T-Mac for Lamb. Dowdle and Sutton, Dowdle and T-Mac for Puka Nacua, even banged up. Javante and Dowdle, Javante and Sutton, Javante and T-Mac for Achane for a slight running back upgrade. Dowdle and Sutton, or Dowdle and T-Mac for Henry and something. Bobby boy, let's go after all of those. Brendan. Brendan says 0.5 PPR, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. JD5, May, JSN, Lamb, Pickens, Rice, Pearsall, Dowdle, Scat, Harvey, Woods, Bowers, Waller. Any moves? Very intrigued by either keeping Bowers or trading him high, but you'd have to trade him like even medium. If no one's going to trade him for even like a medium rare price, you gotta hold him. But you could trade Waller maybe. Trade one of the tight ends with Dowdle, one of the tight ends with Pickens. Keep Lamb, keep Rice, keep JSN. So Pickens and Dowdle, Bowers and Dowdle. Probably keep Bucky, and you're just trying to upgrade that Dowdle player. I like Henry with a team like yours. Dowdle for Henry straight up if you can pull it off. Bowers straight up for Henry if you can pull it off. Barkley using Waller and Dowdle. Scat for Achane, and you throw in Dowdle and Pickens or whatever and go in for 2 for 3. Go get Achane and something. I like all those moves. But Dowdle and Bowers or Dowdle and Waller or Dowdle and Pickens is probably where I'm the package I'm really shoving out there. No pun intended. No pause needed. Trade away TJ Hawkinson for Terry McLaurin. I'd take Terry McLaurin. Bryce Evans. That's the one I just did, right? Yeah. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you. James, appreciate you with your $10 hauler. 14 team. I'm 4-2. May, Penix, running backs, Genty, Hubbard, Charbonnet. Wide receivers are London, Rice. We got 700 people on YouTube. We got about 400 on Twitter. Can I get the Twitter people to go to YouTube, please? And subscribe, because I don't go live on Twitter every time. I don't go live on X every time we go live. I try and do this to get exposure over there so people can know to come over to the YouTube family. But please, all my X people, go over to YouTube and hit subscribe. Appreciate you. 4-2. Genty, probably concerned about the Hubbard situation. So Hubbard, and go to the Dowdle owner. See if you can upgrade Olave or Garrett Wilson. Keep Rice in London. You're trying to use, maybe the Walker owner wants Charbonnet. Maybe the Dowdle owner wants Hubbard. I'm definitely using those two pieces to either of those owners to try and upgrade Wilson out of a non-injured player. A Dunze off a bye week would be great. Lad McConkey would even be Lad and something for Wilson and Sharbs to the Walker owner. Lad and something from the Dowdle owner, to give him Hubbard. If I can't go that route, I simply try and trade Hubbard with Wilson for one slightly better player, even lesser player that's not injured or something. You know what I mean? Like if it was maybe like Garrett Wilson a little more in BTJ, I'd take BTJ because he's playing, and I'd give up that Hubbard to get that done. Now, you probably need a running back. So let's see what you can do running back wise if you didn't want to go that route. Because then you probably have to make another trade to get a running back, but you'd have different pieces to play with. But let's just say you're trying to use Hubbard and Wilson for an RB. I would say you're probably not going to get a Cook. You could maybe trade Wilson for Javonte if you throw in Hubbard. You might be able to get a Breece Hall. You might be able to get an ETN. You might be able to get Scat for those two. Hard to say. You might be able to trade a risky situation like that for a risky Kamara situation. You might be able to go get Kenneth Walker using Hubbard and Garrett Wilson, but get something else with Kenneth Walker. But I don't know that I even like you getting into that situation, to be honest. I'd rather just bank on Charbonnet. I think if you were to do the wide receiver trade, I could start Charbonnet right now. That might change if they traded for Achane. But I'm okay with starting Charbonnet. He's not a horrible play. But certainly feel like, if I could get rid of Chuba Hubbard and Garrett Wilson for like a doubted Judkins right now or a doubted Henry, I'd do that. Those would be great moves. Thanks, James Will. Appreciate you. Guys, I'll be back later before the game. Appreciate you all. We'll be back in like an hour, probably hour and a half before kickoff. And I'll see you all then. Appreciate all your super chats, celebratory membership messages. One from Jaime says, offered Achane for my Scataboo. You take Achane. I mean, you know that, bro. Come on. You weren't born yesterday. Smitty the man, thanks for all you do for the fantasy community. Thank you. Appreciate you. Are you here still? NF, appreciate you, my boy. Lunchbox says, Terry McLaurin, Devontae Smith, Higgins in a wide receiver 2, Warren in the flex. I guess I would say Terry McLaurin, Devontae Smith, Higgins. I'd probably go. I mean, once McLaurin's back fully, I'd say McLaurin, but Higgins right now. Appreciate you all. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you. See you at kickoff. Before kickoff. We'll be here before kickoff. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Live whenever big news breaks. And live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. Jarvis dropping a final super chat here. Slipping one in the back door there. Jarvis, appreciate you. Running backs, Kyron, Bucky, Genty, Breece, JSN, London, Rice, Puka. This team's fire, bro. What do you do? Offer for Dak or JD5. Owner said Gibbs, Tyler, Warren is off limits. I would definitely consider. You got JSN, London, and Rice, bro. You could trade Puka for. I don't think you need to, though. Your team's great. Consolidate. Wait on Bucky. Wait on Puka. You're trading Breece and Debo for one player. You're trading Breece and Debo for Achane, for Kyron, for Barkley, for Henry. Breece and Debo for any top 5 wide receiver. Maybe you go after Bowers. I know Goddard's there, but maybe you give up Breece for Bowers or Debo for Bowers and just go in a totally different direction. Try to trade a quarterback. I definitely would try and trade a quarterback if you can. Oh, you're trying to get a quarterback, is that right? Offer for Dak. Okay, so Dak or JD5. I'd definitely take JD5 for Breece or Debo. Maybe both of them for JD5 and something small. You've got so much surplus, Jarvis, you could afford to go get JD5 using Breece and Debo. Try and get something else in return, but you will 100% have enough surplus to get that done. Jarvis, did that answer your question? Good enough for now? If you got another one, let me know on the later show. Appreciate every single one of you, Jarvis. I'll wait real quick before I hit end to make sure I answered that properly. We'll see you all later. Again, live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday, live whenever big news breaks and live at midnight Eastern. All right, Jarvis, we'll see you tonight. Deuce!